I think you would agree that this year specifically has been interesting, for the lack of a better word. And like most people out in the world, including you, I spent some time in quarantine. So much time that Lexi and I have joked about losing touch with our ability to connect with others socially. Sounds funny, but those words do carry a bit of truth in each syllable. In a way, part of me feels like I've been detached from reality, both physically as well as mentally. However, that time I spent in isolation was time spent reflecting, learning, and adapting. Here are 4 simple ideas that are changing my life specifically around the topics of life, relationships, and more importantly, change, something we're all navigating through as time continues to tick forward. But first, I have to give a quick thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring this video, more on how and why they can help us grow through change while we simultaneously adapt to this new normal around us. Now, with that said, these 4 ideas or statements that I want to share with you are things that I've always been familiar with, but tend to lose sight of, if I'm being honest. And if this is happening to me, then I'm sure I'm not the only one, for the simple fact that it's probably happening or has happened to you as well, especially in the midst of life and chaos and busyness. The first idea is a short statement consisting of 2 words: be present. There have been plenty of times where personally I have not been present, and far too often I've noticed that we're not present in life like we think we are. For example, have you ever been in the middle of a conversation with someone and they ask you a question and you unknowingly agree with the driest response of, yeah, okay. Or you actually respond with the most awkward, embarrassing response there is. Wait, I didn't hear anything you just said. What did you say? Now, I know I'm not the only one who has done something like this, right? See, we may be physically present in these moments or moments like them, but mentally, emotionally, consciously, we're not present. Our focus is rooted in something else. We're distracted by the busyness and stress of life itself. Maybe we're overanalyzing our past actions or worrying way too much about tomorrow or the next day. Or maybe our heads are just buried in our phones. See, we've lost touch with some of the elements that make being human and living life beautiful. Just think for a second how much life you've missed personally due to you not being present. Kids, family, relationships, friendships, executing on an idea or creative business venture you've had, but consciously you weren't present enough to focus or enjoy those moments. Now, I'm not sharing this to stir up a negative emotion, but instead to create a moment of aha, to spark a connection we have to an idea we're familiar with, but oftentimes lose sight of. I've learned that our minds are immense, chaotic places, and so much flows through them that has very little or nothing to do with what is right in front of us at any given moment. Being present sometimes sounds like a foreign language to a mind that's already crowded and clouded. So my hope is that you rediscover this idea of being present the same way I have, as well as spend some time reflecting and decluttering your mind so you can be present, especially during those moments in life that truly matter. People will never forget how you made them feel. Now, the poet in me has a particularly unique connection to this idea because it comes from a fellow poet whose work I absolutely love and adore, Maya Angelou. In fact, the complete verse says this: people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. See, I love this idea for a handful of reasons, partly because Maya Angelou wrote it, but also because it resonates with the arts of communication and connection that lives in me. As a creator, a poet, a writer, even in my personal life, I'm constantly seeking new and interesting ways to present not only my words, because truly I believe that connection and communication and understanding run so much deeper than what you say, but also how my actions and presence is impacting the way people feel. I think it's important that we build an understanding around this idea because every time we connect or communicate with someone, we're creating a lasting impact on them as well as on ourselves. And that impact can either be positive or negative. However, we want it to be positive, right? As humans, sometimes we just want to be heard or felt or understood. And to me, this statement embodies this idea completely. Because if we can consciously become aware, even the slightest bit of how we make people feel, then in my opinion, that would change the game completely in regards to how we communicate, connect with, and invest in people and relationships. Time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. I can't tell you how many times this idea has shown itself to me in my life. Now, I've seen it written and expressed in a few different ways before, all of which embrace the same general idea. Live your life, not someone else's. I mentioned earlier the importance of being present in life. To me, that idea directly connects to this one because I also believe that in those moments of being present, we're given an opportunity to identify what we truly value and have a passion for. As you know from being a part of this community, I've stressed the importance of values, which directly impacts our life and influences our passions. See, when we can embrace the fact that time is limited and we should not waste it living someone else's life, we're then encouraged to spend more time exploring our passions and igniting that creative or professional interests we have. All things we can do with the help of a platform like Skillshare. If you don't know, Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for both creative and curious people. You can learn new things, new skills, and even explore your passions or creative interests so you can start building and living your life and not someone else's. Now, I'm guilty of losing sight of this, right? At times, the lines have seemed blurred between what I'm doing and who I'm doing it for, which is why I've watched and rewatched 2 classes in particular that really highlight the how and why when it comes to uncovering your passions and purpose and then applying it to life personally and professionally. The first class is by Emma Gannon, Discovering Success, 7 exercises to uncover your purpose, passion, and path. And the second class is by Holly Coley Murchison, Creating Your Dream Career, Uncover and Apply Your Creative Strengths.
What we do is just one small fraction of who we are and how we show up in the world. These skills help you thrive as a human first, and then they give you the space to apply them in all of the different facets of your life. Thank you so much for taking my class. Let's get it poppin'.
And it was poppin', trust me. Now, Skillshare is actually very affordable, costing less than $10 a month. And since Skillshare is sponsoring this video, the first 1,000 people to click the link in the description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership. Now, if you take either of the 2 classes I mentioned, make sure you come back, comment below, and let me know if they resonated with you the same way they did with me. Fear is a figment of my imagination that I've let control me. A set of strings playing my life like musicians do violins and symphonies. I'm tired of this song. I think it's time to change it. Those words are from a poem I wrote almost 1 year ago now that really sums up my personal experience with fear and how at one point in my life I allowed fear to take over my body in a sense and dictate my actions. This poem, especially the last few lines, serves as a promise or reminder for myself to change the tone of my inner voice. This song that seems to be stuck on repeat. I've realized that more often than not, we fail to reach our full potential in life, in business, in relationships, because we're afraid of not succeeding, of making a mistake, of failure, of embarrassment. And this fear begins to eat away at our courage, our confidence, our inner peace, and it starts to create this false narrative of who we are. It paints this skewed picture of life that we start to believe. And that's exactly what fear wants. He or she wants us to feel afraid, to believe in something or the perception of something that isn't 100% true. But see, that's the thing about fear, is that it's exactly that. False evidence that appears real. Now, it's up to us to change how we interact with fear and how much we allow it to influence how we feel and what we believe. Come here. See, fear is nothing more than a figment of our imagination that will not control me. Will you allow it to control you? If you want to listen to the full poem, you can check it out here. I'll also leave a link to it down below as well. If I share something in this video that resonated with you or was something that you've also lost sight of, comment below so we can continue to talk about it. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below so you can join this community and grow with all of us here. Always remember to stay true to you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.